Okay, so the latest Tottenham Hotspur transfer news broke last night that Tottenham have agreed a 64 million deal with Juventus for Paulo Dybala, and also they are in discussions with Philippe Coutinho about bringing him to Tottenham and London as well. So we'll go into those and we'll have a good look at those. Now we'll give you the facts. Both deals, well, the Dybala deal is close but not yet done, and there's still some work to do on that, which I'll explain. And I'll try and give you the facts surrounding Philippe Coutinho as well. Now, if you want to keep up to date with videos like this on Tottenham and the other top Premier League teams, keep an eye on what they're up to in terms of transfers, news. We do player profiles, stats, match analysis, player ratings, etc. Then if you want to click the red subscribe button below, click the bell notification button, and you'll be kept up to date with all new videos that come out on Tottenham and the other top Premier League clubs. So let's start off with Paulo Dybala first. Now, news broke last night that Tottenham have agreed a 64 million deal with Paulo Dybala, well, with Juventus to sign Paulo Dybala. Now, I did a full profile video on him a couple of weeks ago, and I'll put a link to that at the end of the video. You'll see it come up on screen somewhere where you can go and see a full profile. But what's happened is Paulo Dybala was linked to Tottenham a couple of weeks ago. Sort of price being talked about was 80 million. Then it looked like the deal was slipping away because Man United came in with Lukaku as some sort of swap deal, and it almost was put to one side while we were busy concentrating on Fernandes, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, etc. Now, Sky Sports in Italy broke the news yesterday to say the 64 million deal has been agreed with Juventus. However, there are still personal terms to discuss with the player. Now, just to put a little caveat on here, his personal terms shocked Man United, so there's still a bit of work to do on this deal. Now, just to see what sort of player, this guy is a world-class striker. You know, he can play central, he can play on the right, or he can play as a second striker. His main and best position is central striker. And I'll just put on screen now some stats that I showed in that full profile video. And you can see I compared him to Kane and Son. But if you look at his goals after, it's not just 1 or 2 seasons. This guy has produced right back as far as the 14-15 season, and you can see there the appearances, the goals and the assists compared against Kane and Son, and you know, he's producing lots of goals, lots of assists. You'll notice his last season at Juventus wasn't his best there, with just 10 goals and 5 assists, and we'll just go into that briefly in a minute. But you know, this guy is world class. The one question mark against him is how will he transcend from the Serie A into the Premier League. Lots of world class players have done it, and like I say, this guy's got a history of putting the ball in the net. Now, last year was when Cristiano Ronaldo came to Juventus. I think the two guys got on well, but I think on the pitch he probably put him out of his favoured position, which is central attacking position. And the manager then, obviously new manager now with Sarri arrived from Chelsea, but he put Dybala out on the right wing. And I don't think it's his favourite position, although he can play it, and he obviously plays it very well. He gave that central role more to Ronaldo. And obviously Dybala is worried about his future at Juventus and whether he'd get his favourite position. Hence why his name came up as linked to Spurs and lots of other clubs, obviously, around Europe. Now, I think it'd be an excellent signing for Tottenham. I think I'd be happier if it involved some form of swap with Eriksen, and then that would resolve that, because if this deal goes through, it is a good sign that Eriksen probably is on his way out. But we'll see what happens with that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So the thing that is going to potentially hold this deal up is personal terms. Now, normally when we get to news coming out about a deal agreed, you're pretty much there, you're pretty much over the line. But just a caveat on this one, I think he's got some big personal term demands. So where we're at is that Tottenham can now open discussions with the player. They've got Juventus permission, they've got a deal and a fee agreed in principle, and they will now open up discussions with the player to see if they can agree personal terms. Should they be agreed, and all the wrangling over sponsorship rights and management rights and all that is sorted, then a deal will go through before transfer deadline day. But just remember, those personal terms with Man United scared them off. So we'll see how that one progresses, and we'll keep you obviously updated on here. Now on to Philippe Coutinho. Now this is a slightly different one. Lots of reports going out last night. And I just let I was thinking of putting a video out last night, but I thought I'll just let the dust settle and see what I can find out about this. Now, obviously, I think it's fairly commonly known that Philippe Coutinho's big money move, 142 million or whatever it was, from Liverpool to Barcelona, hasn't quite worked out. I think it's been a little bit hard on him. This guy's, again, is another quality player, and although he had a poorer season last year at Barcelona, still excellent. Now, the talk is that Mauricio Pochettino had made a telephone call to Philippe Coutinho to try and persuade him to come to Tottenham. And this all has come about because Barcelona haven't been able to offload him on a permanent deal. And there's talk that maybe they will loan him for 12 months. And the Premier League is probably where he would like to come, and probably where there is potentially the funds to fund such a deal. So I think Arsenal and Tottenham and other big clubs were sounded out by the player's agent. Now, Arsenal obviously have signed Pepe. They've got the Ceballos loan deal. I think their interest now is more in defensive things. I think Koscielny is going to Bordeaux in France. So that put Tottenham really at the head of the queue. Now, we don't know where the story about Pochettino ringing Coutinho personally to try and talk to him about a move to Spurs came from, but we understand it has probably come from his representatives. And this stinks of them trying to stir up a move for their client Coutinho. Now, it would involve a substantial loan fee, and figures being talked to £20 million, which is a lot of money to take a player on a year. Obviously, you would want an option to buy at the end, and no doubt Levy would negotiate that if this deal were to go anywhere. But I suspect that the sort of fee on the option to buy that Barcelona would want is probably going to be nearer the 80-90 million. And Philippe Coutinho is 27 now. In a year's time, if he exercised that right, he's 28. It doesn't quite fit with Levy's profile of transfer activity. Now, he may surprise us all. Obviously we know he's signed that big sponsorship extension. He's talking about bringing more money in, commercial activities now the stadium's done. But still, it just doesn't seem to fit with his philosophy. So we'll see how this one progresses. Like I say, I think the Dybala one is very exciting, and that one is certainly quite well progressed with that fee being agreed, but still to be sorted out. The Philippe Coutinho one, I'm a little bit doubtful on that one. I think it's great that Tottenham are looking at these deals. I mean, we all had our eyes looking at Fernandes, Lo Celso and Sessegnon, and I suspected they were working on deals behind the scenes because of sending out representatives out to Lisbon for Fernandes on Friday. But I don't think any of us expected them to be backing for Dybala and maybe considering Coutinho at this stage. So we'll see how it works out. Now, somewhere on the screen at the end of this video shortly, you'll see a link come up, probably up here somewhere, for the link to the full profile video of Dybala that I did a week or two ago when they were considering the move initially. So do take a look at that. We'll keep you updated, obviously, of any further news. If you like the video and you like the channel, please like and subscribe below. And thank you once again for watching.